you certainly got my attention this time, and not just from your comments either, it's from the likes on the comments. As a YouTuber, we can see the positive to negative ratio on our actual videos. And for me, it's usually around 99 to 98% positive. Every now and then it can drop to 97, but when it drops to 95, which is not very often at all, then I generally have a look and try and work out why. The unhappy are always the loudest and usually the first to express their opinions. And this time, it's because of AI.
See you later, mate.
But what surprised me this time is to what type of AI I put in.
What have you done? What have you done?
The criticism alone doesn't mean much, but it does raise the question, is this just the loud few? What about the quiet majority? I want to know what you think. Now, I've got a few theories on this, but I want to know what it is that drives you nuts about AI. And I think I can relate to you as well, because I do not like AI. I know it sounds controversial, I'm contradicting myself, so what do I mean by that? And how do I use AI, and why do I use it? Well, you're about to find out. So here's what I don't like about AI. And that's when AI tries to be real. When people try to use AI to create real people that don't exist. More than a handful now that keep popping up in my feed, whenever I'm on my feed that is, which isn't very often. They're literally fake people trying to sell me products.
I have a high IQ.
It's soulless.
How long before I actually remember what I read?
They can get away with saying certain things. It's so-called living proof of someone who's done a fitness program, and that's what he looks like now, and he's 50 years old, although he looks like he's 25. There's no actual person saying this. It is absolute bullshit. Unless you know what to look for, which you wouldn't really know what to look for unless you've played around with AI trying to generate things. Only from doing that can I actually pick things out. That's what I don't like about AI, especially when it's used to gain something from deceiving someone else. And all the generations I've done in the past looked quite real.
All this gear and no flipping idea made.
And intended as comedy.
Please.
Have you not heard of GVM?
Yes.
But I'm sitting here saying this now, it's probably a bit hypocritical, and that's why I've switched to the puppets.
What's going on? What's going on? Ooh.
Something just outrageously clear, it is AI. In other words, there is no doubt and no question that it is not real. It's a puppet.
Oh, righto, mate.
Then I think it's okay. I can't afford to pay a puppet company to make one up for me and then do all these crazy things with it. And that's where AI is a bit more beneficial.
Ooh, mate, what do I do?
If it's used right. If that triggered your anti-AI radar, what didn't you like about it? That's what I want to know. In the past, I can definitely see when people don't like the real AI, like I've just complained about myself, but a video about when I was changing the canopy on the Quartermaster. I used a lot of sketches.
The entire back of the tray with the wheels overhanging.
Here were the three options that I had. Use photos to generate fake cars that kind of look real. Didn't like doing that. Making sketches. I can't draw for so I used the sketches. But no one really said anything about the sketches. Some AI is more acceptable to people than other stuff is. Using the sketches also saved me from grabbing screenshots of the Norwell website, because then it would look like a catalogue. And I didn't want my videos to look like a catalogue. I wanted it to look like a concept. And it just made sense being a sketch, because if it's a sketch, it's not real yet. It's a concept. There was one comment in the entire comment section, the previous video where I used the puppets, that seemed to have gotten exactly what my intention was.
They were obviously fake rather than trying to look real. They were mostly relevant and provided some comedic relief to what otherwise would have been a rather stressful video.
If I could film those bits, yeah, that would be awesome. But sitting with an incoming tide and water coming into the car, it's definitely not something I want to put a car through.
This water's getting a bit close to the car.
At the time, it wasn't fun.
People are gonna winch it.
There has been one time where using AI generations has actually helped me keep a segment within a video. And that was the Wally Dowling part in the canning stock route.
The legend of well 14.
Out here in the deep desert, the dust never settles for long.
If I didn't have the ability to generate that cartoony bit that I did, which actually took me a long time, despite what you might think, multiple generations, all pieced together. I then used Photoshop to try and frame it all up, and then had to make this camera pan across everything. There was a lot of effort put into it. If I didn't have that, the Wally Dowling story would have been my tired face in the dark, standing with a faceless bush behind me, telling you the story of Wally Dowling. Here's a quick comparison. The version that got released.
Wally hits a desert oak at full tilt. As the dust settles, he feels the full extent of his injuries.
Broke his leg in 2 places.
Weeks from help. No doctor, no nothing. Most blokes would have been done for. However, Wally's crew of tough bushmen knew what to do.
The one that didn't.
Struck into a tree while he was galloping on a horse. Into, I think it was like a thick desert oak.
So adding these little things in, they do help. But you've got my attention. There's a lot of people that have been triggered by the previous video. And I'm actually surprised because I used the Muppets this time. Now this is where you can correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm thinking it's because of the amount of times it was in.
Actually, not sure.
The worst 10 type of recoveries you could get yourself in. And I think I had one little generated segment for each one
I'm still waiting for a mate.
for the waiting for a mate section,
95% waiting for a mate.
which I wasn't going to put in the video at all, but I felt like it needed a bit of comedy to it
He should be there soon, mate.
because it was a bit of a grim video if you think about it. The rollover recovery. There's likely injuries involved. What's wrong with a bit of comedy? My question to you then is, what specifically do you not like about the AI that I ingest into the videos? And that's what I really need to know. Blanket comments of like, AI shit. There's no constructive feedback within that. Tell me it's shit, that's fine, but just give me the reason why, the reason behind it. Is there a specific AI that you don't like me using? Is the sketching okay? Are the Muppets okay? Or is it the real people that trigger you like it triggers me? Speaking of real stuff though, this wall is not AI. This studio is not AI. Do you like the extension on the studio? Also, what's not AI is the shelving behind me with our products. Trialed and tested by myself and my mates. There's a new product coming out soon. So apart from what we already have, which is the tyre repair kit,
Oh, that went in too easy.
and the armrest, great in a 70 by the way. Below that, we got titanium. For about a year and a half, actually no, we work out it was 2 years.
2 years, it was over
Maybe
2 years.
over 2 years. Bashing around,
Just outside Tom Price.
titanium billy cans, and I'll tell you what, they are awesome.
Titanium.
They're going to be a product of our line soon. So stay tuned for that. Don't forget to give me your feedback on the AI. Thanks for watching. Catch you next time.